Hello friends, today we will take up the chapter on algebra for class 6 students. This chapter contains the very basic concepts of algebra, and this video will be useful not only for class 6 students but also for students in the 7th or 8th class who feel uncomfortable with the subject. I would also like to point out here that perhaps the most important part of this chapter is the introduction, which most of us ignore. So, in this video, I will explain this part in detail to make sure that you are comfortable with the basics of algebra. We already know that mathematics is the study of numbers, quantities, or shapes. There are many branches of mathematics, such as arithmetic, geometry, algebra, calculus, statistics, and many other branches which you will study in higher classes. The branch of mathematics in which we studied numbers is called arithmetic. The branch in which we studied shapes is called geometry. In this video, we will learn about a whole new branch of mathematics called algebra. Algebra is a lot like arithmetic and it follows all the rules of arithmetic. We will see what are the similarities and differences between arithmetic and algebra. In arithmetic, we do calculations using numbers and operators. For example, 2 plus 3 is equal to 5, 7 minus 3 is equal to 4, 2 into 3 is equal to 6, and 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3. So we see that in arithmetic, we use two elements, numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4 and operators like plus, minus, multiplication and division. In arithmetic, you have done simple questions like fill up the blanks, blank plus 3 is equal to 5. Here you had to find an unknown quantity which was denoted by a blank space. There was only one possible number which could be filled up in the blank space so that the left side of the equal sign became same as the number on the right side. Here the number which should be filled up in the blank space should be 2. So 2 plus 3 becomes 5, which is the same as the number on the right side. Now let us go to algebra. Algebra also uses numbers and the same four operators, that is plus, minus, multiplication and division. But in addition, algebra uses a new element, that is an unknown quantity. In algebra, when we do not know what a number is, instead of using a blank like we did in arithmetic, we use a symbol in its place. This unknown quantity is denoted by small letters of English alphabets like A, B, C, D, E, F up to X, Y, Z, and it is called a variable. Understood? Okay, no problem. We will understand with the help of an example. Let us write the same question we did in arithmetic again, but now we will write it in a way that is used in algebra. If x plus 3 is equal to find the value of x. So if you see the question in arithmetic, it was blank plus 3 is equal to 5. It is the same thing, but instead of blank, we have written the letter x. So we have written x plus 3 is equal to 5 and find the value of x. So instead of filling in the blanks, we have to find the value of x. Here in the expression x plus 3, x can be any number and its value can vary. Therefore, it is called a variable. But when we make this expression equal to some number like 5 in this case, then x can have only one unique value for which this statement is true. To find the value of x, we arrange the numbers so that only x remains on the left side of the equal to sign. So what we will do? To remove this 3, we will subtract 3 from both the sides. So we will put minus 3 here and minus 3 on the right side. So after adding, it becomes x plus 3 and minus 3 will cancel out. It will become 0 is equal to 5 minus 3 is equal to 2. So we get x plus 0 is equal to 2 or x is equal to 2. So you see the result is same in arithmetic and algebra, but only the way of writing and solving the equation is different, because you will see later that it is not possible to solve difficult questions without the use of variables. Now we will learn about some definitions. We will look at the last question again. If x plus 3 is equal to 5, find the value of x. Here, if we write x plus 3 only, this is called an algebraic expression. Here, x can be any value. In different questions, it can have different value. So we call x as a variable because its value can vary. Whereas the number 3, it has only one value. In any question, the value of 3 is equal to 3 only. So we call this as a constant. So in algebra, the numbers are called constant. When we make this algebraic expression equal to another expression or some constant, like when we write x plus 3 is equal to 5, then it becomes an algebraic equation. In an algebraic equation, the value of variable will be one only. It cannot be many values. So when we write x plus 3 is equal to 5, it tells us that the value of expression on the left side, that is x plus 3, is equal to the value given on the right side, that is 5. Each of these components, x, 3 and 5, these are called terms of algebraic equation. Moreover, in an algebraic equation, we have to find the value of x. Finding the value of x is called solving the equation. So when we find out that here x is equal to 2, we have solved the equation x plus 3 is equal to 5. Now I have told you that algebra follows all the rules of arithmetic. However, there is a small difference about how we do multiplication in arithmetic and algebra. In arithmetic, you know, we have numbers and operators. In algebra, also we have numbers which are called constants, operators like plus, minus, multiplication, division, and variable which can be any letter from A to Z. In arithmetic, while doing multiplication, we write 2 multiplied by 3. In algebra also, we write exactly same thing, 2 multiplied by 3, because here 2 is a number and 3 is also a number. But when we use a variable, there is some difference. Like in algebra, suppose we have to multiply 2 by a. We do not write 2 into a. Instead, we write this as 2a. We remove the multiplication sign. Similarly, when we multiply two variables, we remove the multiplication sign. For multiplying a into b plus 7 into d, instead of writing a multiplied by b plus 7 multiplied by d, we simply write ab plus 7d. So you see how this cumbersome expression becomes very simple by writing ab plus 7d. You should remember that, like in arithmetic, while multiplying two numbers, we do not remove the multiplication sign in algebra also. So if we have to multiply 2 into 3, we write it as 2 multiplied by 3 and not 2 3, because writing 2 3 may confuse whether it is 23 or 2 into 3. Now we will move to patterns made by matchsticks. Let us arrange matchsticks in pattern of English alphabets like A, B, C, D, etc. So you can see these alphabets are made with the help of matchsticks. We will first make the alphabet L with two matchsticks. We will make the patterns and note down the number of matchsticks required for making 1L, 2L, 3L and so on. So first, to make 1L, we will take one matchstick and put it vertically. Then we will take another matchstick and attach it here with the first matchstick. So now this is in the shape of L. And how many matchsticks we have used for making this? we have used two matchsticks, one here and one here. So now what we will do, we will make a table and note down how many matchsticks are required for forming 1L, then 2L and then 3L. So here we will make a table. In the first row we have given the number of L formed, and in the second row we have given number of matchsticks required to form the L. So here you can see above, for making 1L we needed two matchsticks. So we have written one here and two matchsticks here. Now we will make one more L. So we take one more matchstick, put it vertically, and one matchstick horizontally. So now total how many matchsticks we require for making 2L? 1, 2, 3 and 4. So here we will write down the number 4. Now let us make the third L. Same thing we will repeat. Now for 3 L's, how many matchsticks we require? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So in the table we will write here 6. Now we will analyze these results. We have seen that for making 1L we need 2 matchsticks, for making 2L we need 4 matchsticks, and for making 3L we need 6 matchsticks. Now how to find out for making more L's how many matchsticks we will need? So can you see any similarity here? If number of L is equal to 1, then number of matchsticks required is equal to 2, and this 2 we can write as 2 into 1. That is, when L was 1, so here also 1 is coming, and for each L 2 matchsticks are required, so number of matchsticks required will be 2 into 1. If the number of L is equal to 2, we are making 2L, then number of matchsticks required is equal to 4, that is 2 into 2. Here you can see for 1L 2 matchsticks are required, so for 2L 2 into 2 matchsticks will be required. Similarly, in case of L is equal to 3, the number of matchsticks required is equal to 6, that is 2 into 3. In this way we can go on. Now you see when L is 1, 2, 3, here also 2 has to be multiplied by 1, 2 and 3 respectively. If number of L is equal to n, then the number of matchsticks required will be 2 into n. Simply instead of 1, 2, 3, we will put n here, which is equal to 2n, because we don't write multiplication sign when multiplying a constant with a variable. So number of matchsticks required will become 2n. So what relation we have found out? We have found the rule that the number of matchsticks required is equal to 2n, where n is equal to number of L that we want to form. So now we will try to fill up the above table with the help of this rule. So here, if we form 4L, that means n is equal to 4. So how many matchsticks will be required? As per our formula, it should be 2n, that is 2 into 4 is equal to 8. So we will write 8 here. Again for 5L, it will become 2 into 5, 10. For 6L, it will become 2 into 6, 12. For 7L, 2 into 7, 14. For 8L, 2 into 8, 16. Therefore, once we know the rule that the number of matchsticks required is equal to 2n, then we can calculate the number of matchsticks for any value of n. Now we had learned about variables a little while ago. We will again go through what is a variable with reference to this n that we have taken here. In last example, we found a rule to calculate the number of matchsticks required to make a pattern of L's. This rule was number of matchsticks required is equal to 2n. Here n is an example of a variable because value of n can vary and it can take any value. Therefore, n is a variable. The word variable means something which can vary or change. Its value is not fixed, it can take any value 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. Now the question comes, why have we used the letter n to show a variable? Why not any other letter like x or a, b, c, any other letter? So any letter can be used to show a variable. from A to Z you can use any letter. It is just a convention that the letters A, B, C, N, X, Y, Z, these are used more than the other letters, but it is up to you. You can use any letter that you like to show a variable. Now, just like earlier we made the pattern L with matchsticks, now we will make the letter C. Now here, for making one C, we require 3 matchsticks. For making 2 C's, we require 6 matchsticks. And for making 3 C's, we require 9 matchsticks. We will note these results in a tabular form. So number of C's form 1, 2, 3, 4, we can take any number. And number of matchsticks required, for making 1 C it was 3, for making 2 C it was 6, for making 3 C's it was 9. So now we will try to find out the rule relating the number of C's formed to the number of matchsticks required. We see that if the number of C is equal to 1, the number of matchsticks required is equal to 3 into 1, that is 3. If number of C is 2, the number of matchsticks required will become 2 times of 3, that is 6. If number of C is 3, the number of matchsticks required will be 3 into 3, that is 9. So we see that the number of C's 1, 2, 3, as it goes on increasing, the number of matchsticks required is also increasing in multiples of 3. So if the number of C is equal to n, the number of matchsticks required will be 3 into n, that is 3n. That means if we have to make n number of C's, we will require 3n matchsticks. So what is the rule? The rule will be the number of matchsticks required is equal to 3n. Now let us apply this rule and fill up the remaining table here. Now when the number of C's is 4, that means n is equal to 4. So number of matchsticks required will be 3n, that is 3 into 4 is equal to 12. When n is 5, the number of matchsticks will be 3 into 5, 15. For 6, it will be 3 into 6, 18. For 7, 3 into 7, 21. And for 8, 3 into 8, that is 24. Now we will go to the next example. Suppose some students are going to buy notebooks from their school bookshop. The price of one notebook is 5 rupees. Munnu wants 5 notebooks, Appu wants 7 notebooks, and Sara wants 4 notebooks. What is the way to calculate how much money each student should take? So in this case, we will try to find a relation between the total cost in rupees to the number of notebooks required. So here again we will make a table and write down the number of notebooks required in the first row and find out the total cost in rupees required for different number of notebooks. So when we require one notebook, the cost is 5 rupees. When we require 2 notebooks, the cost will become twice, that is 2 into 5, that is 10. When we want 3 notebooks, the cost will become 3 into 5, that is 15. Similarly, for 4 notebooks, 4 into 5, 20. For 5 notebooks, 5 into 5, that is 25. So for m notebooks, we will require 5 into m, that is 5m. So here we have taken the variable m and found out that for m notebooks, the total cost will be 5m. So the total cost in rupees is equal to 5 into number of notebooks required. That can be written as 5m. So now from this formula, you can find out the total cost in rupees for any number of notebooks. Suppose you want 20 notebooks, the cost will be 5 into 20, that is 100 rupees. Now we will go to another example. For Republic Day celebration, children stand 10 in a row. How many children are there in the drill? Now you see in the figure here, children are standing in a row. It is given that there are 10 children in a row, but the number of rows are not given, and it is asked how many children are there in the drill. But unless the number of rows are given, you cannot find out how many children are there. So what is the unknown figure here? Here the unknown figure is the number of rows. For this unknown figure, we will take any variable. Let us denote number of rows by variable r. Now again we will make a table and note down how many children will be there as the number of rows keep on increasing. So here in the first row we will write the number of rows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on, and then we will calculate the total number of children. Now if there is only one row, that means only 10 children will be there, because each row has 10 children and there is only one row. So number of children will be 10 into 1 is equal to 10. For two numbers of row, there will be 10 children in first row and 10 children in second row. So the total number of children will be 10 into 2, that is 20. For 3 rows, it will be 10 into 3 is equal to 30. For 4 rows, 10 into 4 is equal to 40. For 5 rows, 10 into 5 is equal to 50. So we see that whatever is the number of row, we have to multiply 10 by the number of rows to get the total number of children. So suppose there are r rows, then the total number of children will be 10 into r is equal to 10r. So we have found out the rule. The total number of children in the drill is equal to 10r, where r is equal to number of rows. Now we will go to another example. Sarita says she has 10 more marbles in her collection than Amina. Write Sarita's marbles in terms of Amina's marbles. Now we know how many marbles Sarita has. She has 10 more marbles in her collection than Amina, but we don't know how many marbles Amina has. So what is the unknown here? The marbles with Amina, that is the unknown number. So we will denote Amina's marble by the letter x, which is a variable. So if Amina has x marbles, how many marbles Sarita will have? Sarita's marble is equal to Amina's marbles plus 10. So what will be the equation here? Sarita's marbles is equal to x plus 10. Let us take an example. If Amina has 40 marbles, then x is equal to 40 here. Therefore, Sarita will have x plus 10 marbles, that is 40 plus 10 is equal to 50 marbles. So for any value of x, you can find out how many marbles Sarita has. Now another example. Here the statement is Balu is younger than Raju by 3 years. Express Balu's age in terms of Raju's age. Now here we know the age of Balu. It is given that Balu is younger than Raju by 3 years, but we don't know what is the age of Raju. So the unknown here is Raju's age. So let us denote this unknown by a variable x. So once we know that Raju's age is x, then it is given that Balu is younger than Raju by 3 years. So what will be Balu's age? Balu's age is equal to x minus 3, where x is equal to Raju's age in years. So if Raju is 12 years old, then Balu's age will become x minus 3. Here x will be 12 and Balu's age will be 12 minus 3 is equal to 9 years. So friends, we come to the end of this video. If you have any doubts or queries, you can post in comment section or drop an email or follow me on social media handles given below. I will put the links to similar videos on this page and in the description section. अगले वीडियो में आपसे फिर मुलाकात होगी. Till then, goodbye, take care and God bless you all.